Hello, this is the Way of Fairness. My name is Stephen Giles. I'm going to tell you a little bit of how I got to where I'm at, and it was with lots of suffering and struggle um, from being alive, if you know what I mean, in this world. So, years ago, they had the first movie, Walking Tall movie, that came out. It was in probably about 74 when I saw it, 75 maybe. And I saw that movie and something just impacted me within in a major way. It's like some inner knowingness about my life. And it's like I had to make a choice to accept the call that I was being given. If you're familiar with Joseph Campbell, Hero with 1,000 Faces, he talks about the monomyth, and it's like a round, a circle, and the hero is like us. We're the hero with 1,000 faces, and you get a call from the divine. I'm not going to use the word God because I prefer to use divine mind instead, because I'm an atheist. So I'm not a believer. Joseph Campbell was a believer. I'm not. You get the call, and then there's like obstacles in the way. Helpers arrive. There's some boon that you get, some treasure you find, a boon for the people. You bring it back to the people from your experience. And some of the stories is where the person turns down the call and refuses to accept the invitation to accept this challenge. And there's myths about that. I think Daphne's one where she turns into the laurel tree. She refuses the call to cross the river to join with Apollo, the god. And so she's turned into the laurel tree. And that's where the idea of the laurel, the award is given as a laurel to the persons from the leaves of the tree, and in honor of Apollo's love for her, and he loved the tree after that, the laurel tree. Okay, so the call that I accepted was I was going on my own, and that's what happens. We go on this adventure on our own into the forest, the dark forest or something, into some place of danger. And it seems like it's always on our own that we do this. It's not a group thing, it's an individual thing. It's between you and the divine mind. And what I was being told within, without words, was that I had to be like Buford Pusser, the sheriff that his wife got killed, and they just had on the news this morning that they're exhuming her body to try to find evidence or something. I didn't read the whole article, but it reminded me of my experience when I saw the movie Walking Tall, the first one. I haven't saw the second one. The call was that I would be going on my own to fight against corruption, to make it simple. And I accepted the call. And that set me apart from the other people. And that's what happens. We get set apart because we've accepted the call. And it's been difficult. So like it's like The Hobbit, the story by J.R.R. Tolkien. Um, when they enter the dark forest, all the branches are going the wrong way, and everywhere it's a struggle to go forward at all. Everything's fighting against them. That's when you know you're on the right path. So, the next thing that I want to talk about is my girlfriend's father. He could see that I was being a doormat. And you know how people like kick sand when you're standing in a group of people and they're kicking dirt toward you, or when people are sweeping a floor, they sweep the dirt toward you. Or when you're sitting by them, they will like give you the brush off, like they're throwing something on you from them, maybe threads from their shirt or something, and they throw it on you. They throw it right on you. And so one day he noticed that I was throwing it back onto them. And he said, do that more. Because all he knew is that I should do that more. And I like connected with him. Really? Because it seemed so foreign from being a good Christian of turning the other cheek, you know. So I started giving them the brush off back. When they'd throw something on me, I'd throw something back. And people are tenacious about this. They start it in the first place, and you just do it in return, and they don't want to give up. And they keep throwing it on you and throwing it on you, throwing it on you. And so recently I've become very like assertive about it. Like, I'm not going to give up until you stop. You started it, and it escalates, and pretty soon I'm like jabbing things at them, you know, making motions of cutting their arm off because they're throwing me something with their arm, with their hand. And that's what I'm thinking, is, oh, cut your arm off. Don't do that to me anymore. I didn't start it, you did. Give up. I'm not going to. Relax. Stop doing it to me. So I just refuse to give up. It's like with staying in the argument. So I have other videos about how to fight against the bully, and using what I learned when I was a child. They call me something, I say, same to you, but more of it. And they label me as something, and we would say something silly like, I know you're that, but what am I? So you're asking them a question. See? That's the key to that, is you do something to them, so you assert something back, and then you ask them a question. So you get control of the conversation. That's the key. You got to get control of the conversation, or at least have an equal footing in it. And if they give up, they'll give up because they're in the wrong. You don't ever win a fight if you're in the wrong, and you never lose if you're in the right. So when people are not doing me wrong, they're right. But if they're doing me wrong, they're wrong. And I won't give up until they stop. So this is very important for us to learn as humans, to how to deal with narcissistic personality. And that's what it is. We all have some of it. It's that they don't care about us. They don't care what they do to us. Well, they shouldn't have done that, because now I only have hate, and I only have thoughts of destruction and suffering upon them. Because they shouldn't have done it to me, because now is all I have is hate. Hate's more powerful than love. Hate will cut you to shreds. Love just makes you feel good. It's like Machiavelli. Would you rather be feared or loved if you have the choice between the two? It's better to be feared than loved. If you're respected, you'll get love. But if you're not respected, you'll just get walked on your whole life. So, I had to make the decision that I don't believe there's a supreme being that has all power over me and knows everything about me. I doubt there is one. I do not think there is. I have faith that there's not. So I can be in the argument equally with faith-based belief in the Supreme Being. They don't have evidence for it, but they have faith. Well, I have faith that it doesn't exist. That's fair, isn't it? So, what I'm talking about, as compared to the way I was taught as a Christian, I'm on the side of Satan. I'm satanic in this. Okay, I'll be Satan rather than God. It's just a role you play. And I realized that in the Hindu religion, Shiva, the one with the trident and the snake, look at the similarities with Satan in the West. You see these similarities in mythology everywhere you look. Shiva is the most powerful, and he had to cut the head off the creator Brahma to defeat evil. And he's also a trickster. So Shiva's also a trickster deity. He tricked Brahma and Vishnu into giving them half of their power so he could defeat the demon. And then when they gave him half of the power, he didn't give it back. He kept it. Because it's like maybe that was wise, because he knew he had to have the most power to defeat evil. He had accepted the call to defeat evil. And when I was first in recovery from alcoholism, and I I stopped drinking because of the spiritual path. Madame Blavatsky said in one of her writings that alcohol interferes with your ability to meditate and to connect with the divine. And so I began the process of not drinking anymore. And when I stopped, because I was drinking daily, and to the point of drunkenness, several times a week, sometimes to the point of blacking out, I just saw on YouTube how when people quit drinking, the dream mind has been suppressed, and when they quit, all these dreams are available. And so I began this process of having many dreams, vision type dreams. I had a Kundalini awakening spontaneously. I actually became telepathic with spirit beings. I could hear them telepathically from their thought to my mind. And I realized that there's something real. They're not coming from my own mind, and there's someone else's mind. And I began having a conversation, telepathic conversation with them. And I do that daily now. Throughout the day, I'm serving them all day long, and they're serving me all day long. They reciprocate. So if I love them, they love me. I'm helping you, and they say we're helping you too. And that's how it is with this relationship I have with them. They're extraterrestrials, in my opinion. It's close, they're telling me that's close enough for definition. And they told me that I have the ability to defeat evil. And I accepted that call too. So I'm similar to Shiva in that regard, as I defeat evil. So I was really drawn to Shiva. That was weird. I almost said a Freudian slip, drawn to evil. And that's like a part of me that is on the wrong side. It's some shadow aspect, or it's actually a different mind inserting thoughts into my mind, unwanted thoughts. I made a video on that too. So that this side that's against me, that just manifested in that way, it has been tormenting me telepathically, terribly. Some people commit suicide because it's so difficult to tolerate this other network of minds that want us to give up to them. They're narcissistic. They have a narcissistic leadership. And there's only to the top of the pyramid on this. There's one top of the pyramid that is like the most powerful in their network of evil. See, Satanists can be against evil. Satanists can be on the side of justice, actual justice, divine justice. So Satan to them is something divine, something good. Like Shiva. And that's where I'm at with it now, too. So I finally got the upper hand on those unwanted thoughts. And I tell them is all you got to do is stop doing me wrong and you're forgiven and I'm helping you. But if you're doing me wrong, I will defeat you. I have nothing but hate and thoughts of destruction upon you. And that's what's worked. That really fierce warrior kind of thinking that I will not give up. They will give up because they're in the wrong. They're doing me wrong. And it's like a test that we go through. I don't think they're the other humans, but they work through the humans, and it seems like the thoughts are coming from other humans, but I don't think they really are. It's like really a kind of a strange experience to have this going on. One of the areas that I continue to fight against them is they want to have someone be the one. They think it's going to be me, or if it's not me, then it's George, and if it's not George, then it's Tom, and if it's not Tom, then it's Mary, and so forth. There's not one. It's not me, it's not anyone. The reason, because if there's one, that leads to the supreme being problem. The one supreme being that has power over everyone. No, there's no such thing. There's never going to be one. I'm never going to be the one. No one is ever going to be the one. What the one is, the one that rules, it's the law of fairness. And everybody's capable of not doing others wrong anymore, including me. It's a daily struggle to not have unfair thoughts about other people, to not do anyone wrong. And it's helpful to keep this thought in your mind throughout the day. I'm here to help, not to harm. And if something's going on with someone else, you can ask them with your thoughts, are you here to help or are you here to harm? And if they're here to harm, it's total war against you until you stop harming us. We have to be that can't think of the word. Tenacious. We have to be that tenacious that we will not ever give up fighting against unfairness to us. Because you deserve to be treated fairly. And no one has the right to do you wrong. So once we get enough people with us in the way of fairness, Team Fairness and Church of Fairness, we have a new website that we're working on now that includes the secular side, Team Fairness, and the religion, Church of Fairness, for the same purpose of uniting everybody to be against unfairness. And when we get the power is already with us from the extraterrestrials, so they're supporting us. They will make it happen with the other religions and the governments. And it's by us being devoted to being fair and to stopping unfairness and creating a huge following that we're all following fairness. The leader is that we are being fair. That's the leader. The law of fairness is the leader. It's not, if you are being fair, you're in violation of the law. If you're being unfair, you're in violation of the law of fairness, whether you're a government, a religion, or an individual. And we're not going to give up. They're going to become fair. and everyone's invited. We have power. We don't have force. The only thing that resembles force is from our thoughts, violent thoughts. But we're not violent. We don't need to be. This is an idea to get everybody in the world on the same team, Team Fairness, Church of Fairness, with the Way of Fairness. And the World Fairness Agreement is on the original website, thewayoffairness.com. And it's the World Fairness Agreement. And we can change the words of it as need be. And the general idea of it is like universal. The extraterrestrials already have agreed on something like that in their system. Any species that doesn't agree on something like this becomes extinct. It's the Savior. The World Fairness Agreement is the Savior, is the Messiah, is the chosen one, etc. Have a great day.